This session is called Finding Opportunities with Google Analytics. And in this session, you're going to be learning how you can leverage your Google Analytics reports to find keywords that you may want to begin targeting with an SEO campaign. So if your site has been around for a while, chances are you're already getting traffic from organic Google searches. And by looking through your analytics to find what keywords are already driving traffic, you will be able to maximize the amount of traffic you're getting from those keywords. Now, an interesting thing about SEO is it tends to be much easier to raise a ranking that you already have than to create a new ranking. So in other words, if you are ranking 9th for green tea benefits, it's much easier to raise that ranking up to, say, into the top 3 than to target a new keyword that you don't have a ranking for at all. So your results may vary depending on the competition, but because of how much Google weighs the age of content, raising the ranking on older content is currently easier than trying to rank new content. Okay, so let's get started. Here I have my Google Analytics dashboard, and what I'd like you to do is click Traffic Sources, Sources, Search, and then Organic. And what this is going to do is show us all the organic search traffic and the keywords that drove that traffic. Okay, so the next step is to look at your keywords and to click them and drill down and look at the data. So the first one here is Brute. Now we can see here all the traffic that keyword sent to us. And what I'd like to do is copy it and go over to Google and do a Google search for that keyword and find out where we're ranking. And it looks here, tfrog.com, which is the demo site I'm using, is 3rd. So that's great. So the next step is to take the keyword and throw it into the Google Keyword Tool, which you learned about in a different video. Okay, so we can see here that the keyword Brute gets about 720 global monthly searches. Now let's compare that to what we're getting. So per month, we're looking at about 96 visits. So that's only a small fraction compared to what we could be getting if we were to raise this ranking up. So by comparing the global monthly searches to the current traffic we actually have and looking at our ranking, we can say here that, well, it's probably a pretty good idea to campaign after this keyword and get this ranking to move from 3rd up as high as we can, possibly even to 1st. So let's take a look at another keyword and use a different example. I'm going to click Organic again to head back to the keyword list. So the next 2 are brand keywords because this site is tfrog.com. So I'll go ahead and skip those. Let's look at Jomo. Copy that. Now let's scroll down and see where we're ranking. Pretty far down here, we're 2nd to last. So let's go back to the Google Keyword Tool and find out how much traffic we could be getting from this keyword if we moved up. Wow, that's a lot. So this keyword is getting over 6,000 global monthly searches. And if we look here, we've only gotten 192 visits over the period of an entire year. So that's a keyword that's really worth moving up. We're only getting 20 or so visits a month here. Now let's see, we're going to have to do quite a bit of work to move up this ranking, but we know that it's easier to move up a current ranking than to create a new one. So I would definitely add this keyword to our SEO campaign. So let's take a look at one more example. I'll go ahead and go back to Organic. And let's look at teas from around the world. Copy that and we'll look at it here. We can see the traffic that we're getting. So it's only a handful really of visits every month. So let's look at where we're ranking for that. 2nd. So we have a 2nd place ranking for that. Now let's see what kind of potential this keyword has by looking at the Google Keyword Tool. Very little. So this is a good example of a keyword that we may want to pass on. Even though we're ranking 2nd, this ranking really isn't that valuable to us. So we may decide to skip this one or maybe look at some of the other ones and retarget that page. Now we can see here that tea around the world has far more searches than teas from around the world. So it might be a good idea to take this keyword and look at the page that we have ranking for this keyword and retarget it. So what I mean by that is right now we're ranking for teas from around the world, but we may be able to leverage the current content and start ranking for tea around the world instead, because that's a much more desirable keyword. So I'm going to go back to organic and look at this again. So as you can see, this process is great for finding keywords that you're currently ranking for and keywords that you could be getting a lot more traffic for. These opportunities are very valuable, and I definitely recommend going through this process when looking for keywords to rank for in your SEO campaign. You'll probably find some really good opportunities that will be relatively easier to rank for than if you were going to go after a new keyword.